Hi, beautiful friends. I think we're already live. Let me check. Yep, we are live. Welcome to Self-Love Sunday. And this is your sacred space to rest, reflect, reconnect. Let me check if the mic, okay, everything seems to be working fine. So today we are going to be talking about stepping out of survival mode. And actually, a big part of the channel is stepping out of survival mode and stepping into our feminine glow, softening and feeling feminine so we can attract more aligned love, abundant living, and most importantly, inner peace. Because those of us who have been or are in survival mode, inner peace feels like something very hard to achieve. So today we're going to be journaling and working through maybe a little bit, if we can, step out of survival mode and into this more safe and aligned space. I want to start today by setting intention. So think about something that you can set intention for this practice today. Something that you want to release that is not serving you anymore, that it's that you have outgrown, and that can be a thought, a belief, old energy, a person, anything that you want to release. And for me, this week, what came up was I caught myself feeling guilty just for reading a book during the day. And there's this coffee shop around my house, and it's such a beautiful space outdoors. And when the weather is nice, I like to sit outside and read something. But most of the times I'm just on the phone working. So, because I work from home and I love what I do, and that's a blessing and a curse because I can do it 24/7. I don't need breaks, and I don't really have lunch break. I just work. I take whenever I want lunch break, but I noticed that I have this new book that I wanted to start reading, and it's not anything related to self-help or personal development. It's a romance novel. So I went there and I started reading, and I just started fidgeting and feeling like that I have to be doing something else, that I have to be doing something more productive, that this is not productive. So that voice constantly was in my head, like, you should be doing something more productive. Like, why are you reading during the day? And I think it reminds me of a belief that I've carried that joy must be earned. Like, I have to, like, rest isn't safe. And as a single mother, also, I have to struggle to like work hard. That's another underlying belief. And that comes a lot, I know, from the way I was brought up. I grew up during the communist times. So a lot of most people, there was no such a thing as stay-at-home mom. You have to work and contribute to society. And if you don't have a job, the government will come and find you a job. You cannot even like, well, you can't skip school. Like school, it's mandatory, period. But working is mandatory. You have to be working. And so for me, that is ingrained. I have to be working constantly to contribute to society. There's no such a thing as like middle of the day reading a book. And so also my mom was a single parent, and we were constantly struggling with money. And I think that's what my programming was, that I cannot be abundant as a single parent, even in the States. Like now I live very comfortably, but it took a long time for me to reprogram my way of thinking, that I don't have to be struggling, that I don't have to be working million hours a day to make ends meet. I can be abundant even as a single parent. But there are some residuals of that thinking. And I think the more we start making money more and more, there's like a threshold. We reach that threshold. And then again, these old limiting beliefs show up. And now we have to work again to peel those layers. And then so we can go to the next level. And I think now with starting this business, it triggers a lot in me that how am I going to be paid for something that I love doing? Because for me, it comes easy to produce content. That's what I do as a day job. I'm a TV producer. So for me, it's very easy to produce content and to be on camera. And so I think I have to be journaling now with you and see what comes up, and if it's anything related to it's that comes easy, that's fun. Why would they be paid for joy, for fun? So this is my intention to release that belief, and for you it might be something different. So let's take a deep breath and close our eyes. I like to put my hand on my heart and one on my womb, and just take a deep breath and just exhale all this tension that you have been carrying through the whole week. And give yourself permission to just be present for this 30 to 40 minutes live stream and not multitask. Turn off your phone and just be present and be honest with yourself. Anything that comes up, put it on the page. It's not right or wrong. It is. And set an intention. Think of an old belief, old story, an energy, a person that is not serving you, that you want to let go of. And we're going to try to release that. So today I have prepared 6 gentle feminine anchors that can help us step out of survival mode without fear or guilt or burnout. And survival mode, I think I'm gonna I think I posted already a different video on it, but a lot of us high achieving women struggle with that. And many of you probably have been on the verge of a burnout, or you have been in a burnout, but it's not a pretty place to be. I certainly have, with anxiety and panic attacks, which I share in this other video. And it took me a while to get out of that rut, and many years. And I do a lot of yoga and meditation and journaling. Those are my tools. But I'm going to share some other things that I also incorporated throughout the years. So the first one is food, nourishment. We all heard that our gut, it's our second brain. And I noticed, like, when I'm stressed out, it's just completely different story. And I feel like agitated and stressed out and nervous, and it just, my digestion does not work as when I'm relaxed. So what I started doing, and I'm a person who do not like to drink water. I just don't like the taste of water. Only when I go to Bulgaria during the summer, I love the water there. It's mineral. But I just don't like the taste of water. Even if I put lemon, especially winter time, there's no way for me to drink water. And something with like plastic bottle is just disgusting for me. But even at home, when I put it through the filter, I have to boil it, make it warm, and make it into a tea. I just don't like water. And so I started forcing myself in the morning to have warm lemon with water and not to have caffeine. So I don't drink coffee. I drink tea. I don't even drink matcha. I started here and there now, but I don't drink coffee for many, many years. I drink sometimes in Bulgaria when I go during the summer, but like rarely. And so in the morning, I'll start with black tea, Earl Grey, but I started now choosing differently. So I'll have warm water with lemon and I'll wait at least an hour because our body, it's used to waking up with caffeine. And I wanted to train my body to wake up with its natural tools that it has because our body is such a perfect machine. So wait at least an hour before you have caffeine. And then start your day with warm water, lemon, or herbal tea. But choose warm liquids. I don't know. I think in Ayurveda, the Vata, Pitta, Kapha. I don't know what I was. I think I'm Vata. I'm not pretty sure. But I just, cold liquids do not sit well with me. I have to have warm. Even summertime, there is no drink with ice that I would drink. It's always no ice. So choose warm, whole grounding meals also. I'm a person of habit, such a creature of habit. I eat the same breakfast probably for 6, 7 years, maybe more. I make this steel cut oats with seeds and like chia seeds and pumpkin seeds and cayenne pepper and cacao and cinnamon. It's just a whole mix. It looks disgusting. I like how it tastes because it's warm. It's just so nurturing. There's something about this warm porridge, I would say, that makes me happy in the morning, comforts me, even summertime. That's all I eat. And then start eating slowly and being present. So I try not to eat in front of my computer at all. And I used to do that when we worked in the office. Now I work from home, so I do not eat in front of the computer. And breakfast usually, I would try not to multitask or do things, just sit present, not on the phone. That's the other thing. Avoid the phone during the morning hours. I'm pretty good at that. Evening and morning, you'll never see me with a phone. So I'm very proud of myself. I never had that issue. So I don't know. It just feels counter to my to who I am. I don't know. It's hard to explain. I just never had the need to have a phone in the morning. I only check if my son got to school, like on the GPS, on the tracking thing, and that's it. But I'll just turn the volume off and until I do all my other things. So try to have slow morning. And even when I worked in the office, I would get up an hour early so I can slow down, do meditation, do yoga. The house was quiet. My son was very little. So I like that quiet morning hours before he got up. And I try to romanticize it and use it as this more like a retreat. So think about your morning as a retreat. And if you have to get up a little early, do that. Let's journal just a little bit. What is one nourishing change I'm choosing to make this week to support my body and digestion? So choose one thing, like whatever comes to mind, write it down. So for me, it's water and lemon because I skipped it. We went to vacation in Mexico City and I just couldn't do my morning routine. And so after that, I just never got back to it. So my goal would be water and lemon and this smoothie that medical medium suggests. It's like a detox smoothie. And my friend, she's really big into medical medium, so I'll try to stick with that one again. Let's go to the second point. that is something that I started doing very recently, somatic safety. So that is nervous system practice, somatic work. And you can't logic your way out of survival. You need to move because this is stored in our body. So somatic healing helps us with feeling safety in our body. And one of the biggest things that I noticed that makes a huge difference for me is somatic shaking. And you can go on YouTube or Spotify and just write somatic shaking music, and you can just start moving your body, and it's more like shaking. You can tap on your chest or like shake, like a belly dance kind of. I started doing this, like your hips in figure eight. I don't know if I can show you now. I think it's not going to work, but maybe I can kneel. And you just move your hips in figure eight, but you're shaking it. Figure eight and you're shaking. And then you can do this and just like shake. You can even jump. And so this releases all the tension that you have in your body, that you have stored in your body. And it just feels incredible afterwards. Like you have to try it. And I'm really curious for a first time if you're doing it. Comment down below and let me know if you felt any difference. But you can do the somatic shaking in just like 1 or 2 minutes. You don't even have to do a whole song. You can do few sun salutation yoga stretches in the morning if you don't do yoga, if you don't have the time, but just Google sun salutations and then you can do those. And you can just even dance like any song that when I wake up, I listen to my body. That's the most important thing. You have to listen what your body needs because there are a million things that we can do and million rituals, and everyone suggests what works for them. So I have a lot of rituals that I can do in the morning, but I don't have the time, and my body doesn't need all of them. So instead of keeping it in my mind, what I did was I have a 8 by 10 frame, and just on a piece of paper, I wrote all the rituals that I can do in the morning, starting with tennis, running, yoga, meditation, saging my home, blessing my home, prayer, shaking dance, yoga, I mentioned that already, like just intuitive dance or anything. And I wrote them down. In each morning, I look at it and I see, okay, I connect with this today. One exercise like yoga or running or tennis or Zumba in the park. And then something that I would read very short. I have this daily book with daily letting go chapters. And I have NLP book and just any not not novel, but nonfiction book, maybe 1 or 2 pages, or a prayer. And I just choose like 2 or 3 things max, like no more than that. Because I don't want to overwhelm myself in the morning and feel stressed out. And we're talking about survival mode. So some people can do like take an hour for themselves. Some people can do 30 minutes. Some people can do 5 minutes, depending on what your threshold is. And you're going to stretch it with time. So just give yourself a grace, choose 1 or 2 things and do that in the morning, but do it as a ritual, as something sacred, not as something like a checklist that you have to check and just do it. Just do one thing if you have to for a minute, but do it with intention and presence. Even if you have to just like make yourself a tea or coffee, light a sage and just say, I bless my body with health. I bless my heart with openness to receive love. That's it. But do it with intention. And one thing that for those of you ladies who have anxieties like me, One thing that I started doing is this butterfly tapping. And tapping also, I don't know if you know the EFT tapping, but that is an incredible technique also. And if you Google EFT tapping, that's like you tap on different points, and that really helps me to release a lot of limiting beliefs. But there are a lot of techniques. So one that I'm doing now when I feel anxious is this butterfly tapping, and it's like your hand is in butterfly. You intertwine your big fingers. What do you call them? Thumbs, thumbs, and then you tap bilateral, one the other, and you just do that for a minute. You will see like so much from that tension would release. There's something that your brain connects with the left part, the right part, the left. I don't know how it works, but it does work. So this is another thing you can do. Let's do a journaling prompt. So what is one somatic or movement-based practice am I choosing to explore this week? Again, can be shaking, somatic shaking dance, can be just a dance that you connect with and you feel sexy and feminine and whatever it is in the morning or during the day. Can be the EFT tapping, or it can be the butterfly tapping, or anything that you just want to try, maybe journaling. So put it on the page. What is one thing? Commit to it. Just whatever comes to mind. Okay. For me, it's the somatic shaking. I want to stick with it. I really feel good with it. So I want to stick with it. The next thing is nature. So we are nature, and we need to be around nature. I'm not a nature person. I never was. I grew up in a beach town. I guess beach, it's a nature. But mountains and forests, I'm not used to that. I recently started hiking, which I'm actually enjoying, but camping or things like this, not my thing. I like fancy. um, but and I'm scared. Mm, and I live in New York City, and I live in one of the most densely populated area in New York City. And so we don't have a big park, but we do have a park and we have a lot of trees. And I think New York is such an amazing city that it has so much greenery, like so many, there's so many trees just walking on the street. Like you can always hug a tree or just touch a tree or walk bare feet on the grass or on the sand, but something that connects you with nature. I do not walk bare feet. I don't have where, but in the park there's this grass area. So when the weather is warmer, I will do that. But you can open a window, listen to a nature sounds. I'm so blessed that my apartment faces a backyard. It's a big, big backyard, not like a tiny. And there's so many birds. It's just like, I don't know where they come from. There's no trees in the backyard, but there's so many birds throughout the day. Like you hear the bird sounds all the time. But you can play that on YouTube or Spotify, or you can play like a waterfall sound. You can sit by a tree and just have plants at home. Like I have a lot of plants at home. Bring the nature in. So journal, like what is one thing you're choosing to connect with nature this week to feel more grounded? Like one little thing, maybe buy yourself a small, tiny plant and start with that. But it's proven that nature, it just connects with our nature. It's very therapeutic. And try to get out of, to get around nature at least once a week. Number four is content. So feeding your mind with intention. That is one of the most important things, I think, because we're the average of the five people we hang out with. And so sometimes we don't see friends or new people, but we listen to them on YouTube. So what are you listening to? Are you polluting your mind with the news and gossip shows and all this, like a daytime TV? Or you're watching something that is helping you grow, like psychology, learning tools, like anything that is that you can learn from. No gossip, no, even with friends, like if they start gossiping, change the subject and just train yourself to sift through the content, what you're reading, what you're learning. I'm a producer, so like many of you, I have to know what's happening, what's going on in the world. Also, my family is in Bulgaria, Eastern Europe, so I have to know what's happening there. I have to know what's happening in local level as well, and national and international. But I cannot be watching news all day long. I find them very depressing. And honestly, they're not really like news. It's mostly like commentary, which I'm not really interested. But I have few outlets that I read. I have the apps and I'll just read them, or I'll just go to Reuters and watch the short videos as a quick catch up on what's happening in the world so I can be informed. But I'll not be sitting and watching, and I'm not going to do this in the morning. I don't do news in the morning at all. Uh, and so for me, that time is so sacred. An hour after I get up and an hour before I go to bed. That is my sacred time, and I don't let anything pollute that. So see the content, limit mindless scrolling. And I do that too during the day. You know, I take time on TikTok, on Instagram. I have profiles that I'm following and I like them. But the minute something pops up that it's not, that is polluting my brain, I just scroll. Start a soul expanding book, something that I have so many books. Okay. I'm a person that reads million books at the same time, rarely finishes one, but I'm determined to change that. I have this, Be Good to Yourself, one of the best books ever. I have NLP. Look at the bookmarks. I don't think I read it cover to cover. I just flip and read and what connects with me. This one, it's new. I'm loving it. The Inner Work of Relationships. I bought it when I was in a relationship. Now I'm not. It's for couples, but you can read it also as a single to prepare you how to be a better couple, partner. This one and this one, I love it. Recovery of your inner child. They're really cool exercises. Again, I just flip and see. And I started The Seven Husbands of Evelyn something something. That is a romance novel because I just couldn't find a good Netflix series or a movie that sparked that romance and love in me. So I'm reading a novel. I don't know when that will be finished, but I'll give myself a year. But the point is, start some books that are nonfiction, so expanding something, or even like a travel books, whatever it is, whatever sparks joy in you, whatever feeds your soul. Watch and listen to something like that, like podcasts. When you go for a run, listen to podcasts that expand your knowledge, your soul, your spiritual, mental, emotional being. I'm now into Kabbalah, and so I'm listening to David. I don't know his last name. And so when I go for a run or a walk, I listen to his podcast and I'm loving it. So journal this prompt. What is one shift I'm choosing to make in my content diet this week? One thing you can subtract, one thing you can add instead. And your goal can be every week to subtract one thing and add something new. So what would that be? That's number 4, right? For me, it's to read 5 pages without feeling guilty. So that is my work this week. During the day, read and just rest. Number five, it's creativity, reconnecting to your feminine flow. So creativity, there's nothing more feminine than creativity. When our feminine energy is blocked, it's so hard to create. And I am a very creative person and I have ebb and flows. Um, of course, I cannot be creative all the time, but I'm a very creative person and I'll just like sit or even like just sketch things. I cannot draw, like I'm a stick figure person, but I sketch and I can show you some things. I just sketch with dots or strokes, just make random things. But it just helps me to release something in, like just to be in the moment and to connect with part of me that normally I don't, or I have to meditate. So it's very meditative for me. It relaxes me and I'm able to have new ideas or a question that I had. So like where does it come from, the belief that I have to work hard? So then I'll start sketching and my intention was to find the answer to where that belief comes from. And 9 out of 10 times, I always get the answer because it just my brain relaxes and you go to in this different flow state. So it's very important to be creative. Creativity is not a luxury, it's a lifeline. So it has to be throughout your whole day, not throughout your whole day, but a daily thing. And creativity is cooking, journaling, sketching, dancing, rearranging your space, flowers, rearranging bouquets, dressing. Dressing is very creative if you're doing it for self-expression. And you know, when you go to the office, you have a dress code, but at home you can dress more creative, more to suit you. Putting makeup, it's creative. And just let that creative side of you come up. And you know what? Every person has a creative side. I have a friend who works on Wall Street and he always tells me like, no, I don't have creative side. You're the creative. Yeah, I'm the creative. I'm creative, but everyone has a creative side. It's just you didn't nurture that side when you were little. Um, and you nurture a different side of you that is more logical, rational, and so on. But creative sides, we all have a creative sides, and we don't have to be Picasso. Like I said, I cannot draw. I can't even make a proper stick figure. This is just not me. But I love pottery. I knit. I crochet. I used to sew. I would do anything with my hands. I made this a pillow. Where did it go? It's called tufting. With the gun, you're just tufting. And my grandmother used to make these rugs, and my other grandmother used to sew sheets. So they had very creative. They used to do it as a business to sell them or at home to have things. But I think I inherit that from them. And I have to do something with my hands every single day. It's just a need that I have. But for those of you who are not like that, you don't have to be like that. You can find something little, like I said, dressing up, putting a bouquet of flowers, or making rearranging your space, or making your bed in the morning can be a creative process. Cooking is extremely creative and also very mindful. Like the way the produce touches your skin, the textures, the smell, that's also very mindful and meditative. So I'm planning to do creative rituals on this channel on Sundays. So let me know on the in the comments, like, what would you like to do? What would you like the first one to be? I have few ideas, um, like candle making, or maybe sketching, or origami, or just doing our uh, visual, what is that called? Oh my gosh, I'm blanking. Vision board. That is very creative. Vision board. You can go on Pinterest and pin things in a board that just spark joy. That's very creative too. Or watch videos on interior design. That's also creative. I mean, you're consuming instead of creating, but still it's something. So let's journal this. What is one creative outlet I'm choosing to engage with this week, even in a small way? Write it down. And the last point is micro rituals, making the mundane sacred. So the feminine lives in rhythm, not in rush. Even your most ordinary moments can be just sacred, and you can be present. And like I said, cooking or washing dishes. There is this meditation, washing dishes meditation, because you can meditate doing anything, walking. So when you are washing dishes, feel the soap, feel the water, the texture, the temperature. When you take the plate, just take your time and wash them. And you can do, like, turn off your phone while eating. That's just bring more mindfulness into your day while you're doing the mundane and daily tasks. Putting makeup, you can play a high vibration music. That's when I play subliminals or high vibration music. And I'm into subliminals now. I could have mentioned that, but that's related to one of the points. Before bed, I do subliminals, and after I wake up. If you don't know what that is, Google it or go on YouTube. But when I put makeup, I play subliminals. Also, when I put my bed, when I make my bed in the morning, I play subliminals as well. But sometimes when I put my makeup or do my hair, I play just high vibration music, 539 hertz, or anything that you feel like, what do you want to connect with and bring more of. Like, listen to your body. Like, I listen to my body. If I feel in a good mood and I want to bring more love, I play 539. Sometimes I just feel irritated and overwhelmed, then I will listen to something else to just soothe that instead of love, just to release that. If I feel like stuck with, overwhelmed with a lot of limiting beliefs, then I'll play subliminal. That would help me with that, to break this limiting belief. So it's very important as women to just listen to our bodies. Like, we have such a strong intuition that we suppressed probably for many years. And reconnecting with that intuition can make just miracles for ourselves, because making decisions from our intuition, it's so easy. Like, life becomes a breeze. I am a very intuitive person all my life. I don't think I suppressed my intuition. I'm very proud to say that, not intentionally. It's just I'm very strong-headed. And in when I was little, like, I always did what I wanted to do, and that's why I was always in trouble with my mom in school, with the neighbors, and I just do whatever I want to do. I never cared what people think, say, do. I always had this belief that why do you care what I do? It's my life. So why are you telling me what to do? And I always listen to this intuition, and I always did that. And to many people, that's very impulsive. I never regret anything that I did in my life. So I don't know. I always think everything happens for a reason. But now I learned to listen to my intuition and also to put some logic into it. I think after I became a mother, I had to think for two people. So intuition is a muscle. So the more you start listening to your intuition, the easier it will be. And especially like in relationships, like when you have that gut feeling, don't ignore it. Because very often we don't hear that gut feeling if your intuition is suppressed. And very often you start doubting it because it's something new. So during the day, start practicing listening to your intuition. And that starts with waking up what my body needs. What do I need? Do I need to listen to this? Do I need to listen to that? Like, what do I feel at this moment? I feel irritated, or I feel happy, or I feel excited for this thing today. So, what am I going to listen now while I do my makeup? And you just do that. So, train that intuition. It's really a muscle, and it's going to make tremendous changes in your life. And that is what feminine is, intuition. So, journal this. What is one micro ritual I'm choosing to create this week to make my day feel more sacred? Is it the dishes? Is it listening to high vibration music while you are putting makeup? Is it subliminals? What is one when you make up your bed? Like, can you be more creative there? And put that on the page. Okay. Here's the closing mantra for today's session. And you can repeat silently. You can repeat it throughout the day. You can write it down. I'm no longer available for survival. I choose beauty, softness, and sacred rhythm. And I decided to be very consistent with this channel this time around. Your help will be tremendous if you can subscribe, like the videos, and also you can write in the comments. I would love to know what is one thing you're releasing today. It can be just one thing from one of the categories or one thing from every category. So let me know, and I will see you next Sunday, and I'll see you here on the channel. I appreciate all your thoughts, comments, and again, let's close this ceremony. I hope you found out the thought, the person, the intention, what you wanted to release today. If not, stay a little longer, journal a little longer, but just close your eyes now. Sit, ground your feet or sit on the ground. Rest your hands on your lap and just take a deep breath and release it through your mouth. And again, take it through your nose and release it through your mouth. Thank yourself for giving yourself this time to journal, to be present, and to be creative in this journey. And I'll see you next time. Ciao.